Okay, back to work today. I'll feed the fish real quick here. Fishy, fishy. Fishy, fishy. All right, as you can see, I've got a ton of parts out here. I had an extra hose in case I had to change it. I popped off the drain that was on the old pump. Bought some new parts. Make sure you always keep these parts. You don't need them for something someday. Just tucked my other, was a 7,000 gallon pump on the filter. Now it's about 3,000. But being it wasn't operated for about 24 hours, don't want to put that water back into my pond or into my filter. So what I'll do is I'll just plug it up and see where we're at on this. And we'll go from there and we'll go discuss what we did on the filter. I'm a firm believer you always need to have an extra pump around. I'll let this run through until it actually drains out the pond. Manipulate it where it goes down the hill when I can. Pretty tight. Got a leak here, gonna have to tighten it, but that's simple enough. I kept this running by the same pump. Always have an extra pump around. It'll let you do it. Won't be needing my hose. But as you can see, the water's clear. But overall, it's not flowing as fast. It went from 7,000 to 3,000. That'll get me until Friday when my pump's coming in on Amazon. Good thing about Amazon, you can get things quickly. Bought a replacement pump, and I'll actually get an extra one in the next couple of weeks to have as my backup pump. You always got to have a backup pump. If I wouldn't have had it, I would have lost the filtration, not only in the filter, but in the tub too, with all this filter meeting. So one thing I did do to try to save the filtration in here, I ran an air stone down in it. That way I could pump air and keep it moving. I doubt it did anything, but it doesn't have the bad smell usually you have. So overall, when you look at it, it's not a perfect setup and it'll limp along, but it will get me to where I need to be by Friday. So I'll tighten these things up, be back in business, and that should take care of everything. Fish think they're going to eat some more algae, which I gave it all to them the other day. Actually thinking about putting me a small tub somewhere on the property just to grow the algae. They love it. I mean, you know, I'll feed some different things. Sometimes I'll feed, you know, raw vegetables if I can, you know, things like that. But for the most part, it's just the high current pellets of the growth. And I mix it towards the, you know, the end of the season, and then I'll go to the indoor. Even if I'll go to the wheat germ, even if they're indoor. I try to keep the water a little cooler, and I'll make it 25% of the growth and 75% of the wheat germ. So yes, I'm good. Still got plenty of water flow here. And as you can see, it's working, not great, but it will keep the bacteria, it'll start growing back, and I will feed it. And how I'll feed it, I'll put it into a small tub and just dump the pump in there and let it pump it through and let it grow it. But I'm gonna go over here and get this thing fixed, and we'll see you all on the weekend. All right, the final count. Looks like I got a very little drip, but had to replace everything. I had a crack here, manipulated it up on top. It is actually working, so can't complain about that. I can get this ugly board out of here, put the cover back on, and everything seems to be going good. But of course, when one thing breaks, a pump breaks, turns into a clamp breaking, I will actually replace all the clamps on my filter. It's just too dangerous to take. Too much danger in that thing cracking, so it's a very low pump. It's just 3,000 gallons, and it's not putting a lot of pressure on it, but want to get that repaired as quick as possible. There's plenty enough flow. Don't think I had too much bacteria to die off, or there's just so much biomedium over there that it didn't matter, and it's got a clean filter. But these guys are doing good. Get koi, it'll relax you. On some days, and on most days it does, but today, the last couple days, it's been a headache. It's been about 24 hours getting the piece replaced. I'll hook the new pump up. I'll actually get a new backup pump because this one's old. And I will get that hooked up over the weekend and replace everything. I would like to make this main hose, the clear hose you see going up here, I would like to make it have a T-valve on it, so when I shut it off the backwash, that I can keep the water flowing into the, to the overflow tub. And from there, when I turn the T-valve back off, the ball going, it would just go back to flowing only on the pump. Make things simpler, and I'm gonna do all that while we're doing this. But guys had their 10 feedings today. Seem to be doing real good. I did a water test and everything came out real well. But how could you not just love that big girl, that big Sankey? Can't wait to check these guys out and see what the sex are. Just waiting to get my bowl in so I can just do the bowling in the pond and not have to take them out. Don't want to make things too rough on them. But I think I'll actually finish doing my plumbing up here before I do get the pump hooked up before I release this video. I've been releasing too many anyway. That's just another part of it. Gotta always be ready. Made the mistake of leaving this outside last night. As you can see, some food was left in the water. They broke the lid off. Has to be a raccoon. Just, what are you gonna do? Well, for one, you don't leave this thing out. So, lesson learned. Well, at least my feeder is not broken. But at the cost of this food, these raccoons have to go. This takes me down almost to the end of the thing. It's filled back up. Closed back up. I'm going to take it back inside for today because I don't know how much food they've ate. I'll have to do a flushing. And as you can see over here, there is some food left in the water. Looks like I just fed them. I'll see how much is taken down. I'll scrape off all the extra food. Excuse me. I'll let them go for today. Feed them this evening and see how they react. Go from there. They look like they're pretty full. I don't have the pieces on there. I've got the hardware store collecting everything for me so that I can replace them when the pump comes in today. As you can see, it's It's not real dirty, but it is dirty. Probably pumping out food that, you know, over $300 a bag. It's dumping it out. But that's my fault. I have to take responsibility for it. Koi looked full, so I'll have to clean all the excess off. It's part of it. My fault. Gotta make sure it doesn't happen again. All right, guys, Friday's here. System limped along with a smaller flow, but it's working well. Got a new pump in, so I'll have 2 of the pumps. I'll do a review of that pump today. I'm going to actually hook it up to where my old pump is. Put a T-valve on it so I can push some of the water back into the system. I mean, into the pond. That way I don't put too much water through my filter. So, it should work out well. Should work out well. I'll see you all on the weekend projects. All right, we're on Friday evening. Fish are doing great. I was basically able to get the PVC pieces just to get the pump running. I know it's ridiculous, but to get like a 3-way T with a valve is almost impossible. I had to go in and order it off, you know, Amazon. Couldn't get it at my local hardware stores. So we're getting ready to hook this up. I'm going to turn the valve down a little bit. That way I control the water level a little bit. We're going to give this pump a try. Right at $150,000. I mean $150. Yeah, $150,000. All right, well, inflation is getting us. But here's the specs on it, as you can see. Supposed to pump about 8,000 gallons, but I extended and put the long hose on there to slow it down and try to do my best figuring and get it at about 4,000 to 5,000. So I put the 20-foot hose on there, and it's uphill roughly 5 feet. So should get me at about 5,000 gallons. So we're going to give this a try. Be back in just, as you can see over here, the water is flowing good. Plant filter's growing like crazy, so there's obviously food in the water. And our koi are just doing great. I'm really pleased with them. Thought we'd get some rain last night, but did not, so I'll go ahead and finish the water refill. Didn't get it done as soon as I thought I would. And as you can see right here with the hose. It's a high pressure hose. I thought that'd be enough length to hold it down a little bit, but it wasn't close. And we'll get it done probably Tuesday, so this week will run over. I didn't get everything done I wanted. At least I got moving forward. Still got to buy one of the fittings that go on the end of the pump. They are leaking, and with the higher pressure, it just leaks a little too much. Well, how about it? We'll see you later. Full summer, doing my 2 water changes a week. Fish are super happy. I scraped off a bunch of algae off the little waterfall, threw it in. I got super excited. You can see how bright it is out here. Just a part of the process. All right, just a quick video and update. Still got the old pump on. Got my new pieces in. You can see this plant filter is just completely exploded and filled up. Either going to have to move it or cut it back. Got a big rain, some leaves washed in. We'll get those cleaned off. And of course the koi, as you can see, are doing real well, but it's time to get that filter in fully operation and get everything set up now that I've got the pieces. So, how about all right, here's what I got, guys. Got my pump, which we know is over 8,000 gallons, which is too much. It'll come up to a T, which will go, this area will go back into the pond either in a spray bar or a just a regular flow, and it's controlled by on and off switch here. This here will come on out when we connect to the filter, which I have primed over here now. It's getting ready to go. Oh, you can't see it from there, but you can see it's ready to go. And then we'll adjust the volume from there to get us what we need. So, took a long time to get the PVC parts in, but we finally got it done. Hopefully this thing holds up today. All right, of course the feeder goes off right as I'm finishing. But I did get my little low end area over here on the right side, which collects leaves. The algae is built up to where it flushes the leaves over the top. Makes it easier to cut up. But the pump is active. Right now I've just got it draining over the waterfall. As you can see, I've got it to the max of its outflow that'll drain out of the second filter. And, you know, it's got the strand in it, and I'll take you around just to look at how much that plant filter has grown. Thinking about getting a 300-gallon plant filter when I do the expansion. I have nothing but plants. That way when I raise my peanuts, if I have something that I do want to keep, I can put it in. All right, this pump is 9,900 something gallons when I figured it out, almost 10,000 gallons flowing. This right here, cutoff switch, is draining off of my new pump, which is 8,100 gallons. As you see, there's a T there, comes around. I'm using a flexible hose so I can get it down into the bottom. Still haven't got my bottom drain in. Probably won't put it in until I do the expansion. Pump's going the opposite way. It's easier for me to maintain that way. And the drain that comes out's got the hose here, so I can water my Japanese maple and stuff as I need to. But 2 weeks in the filter, those of you who look back, you can already see this is what 2 weeks are. I did soften the bottom every week, and that seems to be working well. Water tested very good. I mean, you know, when you think you got 10,000 gallons on the waterfall, probably 3,000 on the plant filter, and then another 8,100 that goes to the filter, which takes about 4,500, and the other, which I got spreading out both sides, as you can see. And I'm pushing it to where it can take its max. Now I do turn it up when I flush it out, but I use a strain to make sure I'm not flushing out any of the filter material. So right now, it'll be about cleaning back up. Still got the sponges here, and the sponges actually, if you took them off, the water would splash out. It flushes through there. As you can see, it even comes out the other side on this one sometimes. And it really takes anything out that's in the pond. Really good cleaning method. Fish are doing great. Glad to get this thing done. Now tomorrow I have a judo student coming by to help me clean. So things will be going good. All right, appreciate you going on this 2.5 week, 3 week journey with me. Took forever to get pieces in. Could have been a disaster if I didn't have an extra pump on hand. So when that pump burned out, I had something I could use. It wasn't optimal, but it did work because it did keep the filter bed going and it did keep the filter going. I just cut back on my feeding, cut it down to 6 times a day instead of 10. And when I'm gone, I cut it on roughly, where normally it's a 5 feeder, I put it on a 3 and 1 on a 4. So the early filters that goes in the corner is already finished, taken in for the day. Just can't bring myself to get rid of the raccoons. If you, TWRA, I've been told, won't allow you to transport and re-release. And I really don't want to kill them. I think it's better just to take the food source away. And look at that super guard dog up around the corner. But if she sees somebody come in or something come in, she does take care of it. So once again, thanks everybody for coming through. I've got some good stuff coming here in a week or so. Going to be doing some other stuff as far as the indoor pond. The indoor pond is going to, I think I'm going to build it 10 by 5.5 by 5 feet deep. And it'll have a divider. So I'll have males on one side, females on the other. All this filtration will go inside for it. So it'll be smaller in lengthwise of this, but it'll be probably as much in gallons. So it'll be really nice, and that's where I'll spawn my fish next year, some of them, and raise some of the fry until they, you know, make their journey to the forever home or whatever we decide to do with them. All right, appreciate y'all.